If you remember finding Admiral Akbar passed out under a rock, breaking Palpatine's statue collection, and bulletproof Han Solo, then you grew up playing Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron, a handheld spin-off of the beloved Battlefront franchise that is often overlooked by the fandom. And so in this video, we're going to take a look back at this quirky handheld title to see if it's worthy of the Battlefront name. But first, let's set the scene. The year was 2007, and after seeing the impressive sales numbers of Battlefront 2 for the PSP, LucasArts decided to create a handheld spin-off game while they were working on the ill-fated Battlefront 3. The task of developing the spin-off was given to Rebellion, a small British studio. Rebellion would use the PSP port of Battlefront 2 as a baseline. They worked to improve both the controls and visuals while also introducing new gameplay elements and maps tailored to the handheld experience. So how did they do? Well, just like its console predecessor, Renegade Squadron has a number of game modes, but I think the campaign is the best place to start. The campaign tells an original story which follows Renegade Squadron, a ragtag group of guerrilla fighters embedded into the Rebel Alliance. The cutscenes are told through these motion comics, and they have a cool gritty style even if they often just paint over frames from the movies. The first level takes place on Yavin 4 and acts as a tutorial. And straight away you can tell this game retains the Battlefront formula. It's a third-person shooter with conquest-centric gameplay. However, the big difference this time around is that instead of relying on separate soldier classes, you control a single character which you're able to customize in a number of different ways. We've got the cosmetic customization, yes, definitely going with the 9-num head to strike fear in the hearts of my enemies. And of course the weapon customization, which allows you to choose a number of primary and secondary weapons from older Battlefront games like blasters, sniper rifles, and rocket launchers. In addition to those, you also get newer weapons like the carbon gun, which freezes enemies for a bit, and also the incinerator. Old favorites like wrist rockets and jetpacks are back, but you also get customizable attributes such as running speed, health, and the speed at which you take over command posts. The game balances all these customizable options with a point system. You're allocated 100 points, and every weapon, item, and attribute uses up a certain number of points. So if you want to have the fan favorite chain gun, you're probably going to have to say goodbye to the jetpack. This system, while simple, does allow for a pretty wide range of customizations. Now, the limited controls were one of the biggest drawbacks of Battlefront 2 for the PSP. This time around, the developers have implemented a reworked lock-on system, which is an improvement, but moving both the player and camera with a single analog stick does still feel clunky. With the tutorial over, it's time for a space battle. And these are also very similar to Battlefront 2, only this time around the developers have introduced an autopilot feature which will have your starfighter tail its target while you keep on spamming X to shoot it down. Just go easy on the boost. In addition to all your standard fighters, this was also the first Battlefront game to have playable B-Wings. Oh my god, it's the Millennium Falcon. Don't worry, Captain Solo, I'll help you. The level ends with a dogfight against Boba Fett in the Slave One. Renegade Squadron and Han then travel to Ord Mantell, where they get ambushed by bounty hunters. Defend Chewbacca while he finds the spare part. Well, come on, don't just stand there. This map seems to be an homage to the junk level from Shadows of the Empire, which is also set on Ord Mantell. The map itself is pretty standard. It's a bit small, but that's going to be a recurring trend in Renegade Squadron. Smaller maps with less combatants on the field due to the underpowered hardware. I love how Han just stays by the Falcon this whole time. I'd love to help you boys, but someone's got to push these 3 buttons over and over again. And the level ends with a boss fight against IG-88. Okay, what's next? Oh no, they've captured Admiral Akbar. Time for another space level. You know the type. Blow up some turrets and then some TIE fighters. This Y-Wing is just too slow. Let's use the auto-dock feature to change ships. I think I'll just do it manually next time. This mission ends with you flying into the Star Destroyer hangar and rescuing Akbar. Stupid Imperials, they have an entire ship the size of a city and they hide him in the first room. And of course, old Fish Face's rescue wouldn't be complete without some kind of mention of a trap. We're trapped! There we go, back in one piece. Wait, how did he survive being in space with no helmet or anything? Look, there's a big opening in the dropship. Next is the mission to Mos Eisley. Now, this time around, they took the Tatooine map from the console games, chopped it in half, and tweaked a few bits. They also added this haze effect to mask the low draw distance. A big chunk of this mission has you blowing up these generators, but if you hide behind them, the Imperials will do it for you. And then Han arrives fashionably late as always. Again, are you just going to stand there doing the same thing over and over again? Look, he can't even be bothered to lower the ramp for you to get on. Next up we have Boss Pity, which always sounded like one of the other guys sitting next to Boss Nass. The map has this Mayan jungle theme and it's actually quite big. Look, it even has walkers. Wow, these These Renegade Squadron guys are hard men. Look at them just taking direct fire from a walker. You even get these hideous things that you can ride. Oh no, Agbar's been injured. Hold on, I don't understand. How can you spend the entire battle hiding behind a rock on the other end of the battlefield and still get injured? And look, as soon as you give him the Bacta, he just runs away. Hey fellas, do you mind if I bring my new pet with us? Next up is the Battle of Hoth, but this map only incorporates the Echo Base section from Battlefront 2. They've added a few more rooms and corridors, and there is this outer area, but the main battlefield is conveniently cut off by some debris. You do get to shoot down this walker with a cannon and take on a very low-res Darth Vader. His helmet kind of looks like a hoodie. Oh look, you can even carbon freeze him. This is followed by another space battle where you have to escort the ships to safety, then steal the TIE Defender and take on Vader and his TIE. Next up is a mission to the Sith world of Korriban, where Palpatine is giving a seminar or something. Korriban is another small map, but it has really nice design and aesthetics. The black marble, the regal red hallways, and these giant creepy statues. I did also like that all of these new maps have either been established in the EU or mentioned in the movies. The objective of this mission is to piss Palpatine off by destroying his precious Sith statues. That way he's forced to cut his TED Talk short and kick your ass. You then trap him in the room by blowing up the doors and steal a datapad from his shuttle. Also, this being a classic Battlefront game, Palpatine can fly. Next is Sullust, which is the biggest original map in the game. It consists of both indoor bunkers and outside areas with the spire as the centerpiece. All in all, it's a really nice map, allowing for some really fun gameplay. The final level of the campaign is Endor, which has also been scaled down and redesigned from its console version. It's more of an open space this time, with the Ewok village in the center, a downed walker at one end, and the Imperial bunker on the other. There is a nice Easter egg of Ewoks dancing on the walker, and for those wondering, no, you can't kill them. And of course, Bulletproof Han arrives fashionably late and helps you take over all the command posts. And that's it, the Rebels blow up Death Star 2 and Renegade Squadron disbands. That's it for the campaign, but there are a couple of other play modes. We've got instant action with your typical conquest and capture the flag modes. All 4 of the main factions are available, and instead of different classes, once again you get to customize your own trooper. There are also a bunch more maps that weren't in the campaign. Most of them are just scaled down versions of maps from Battlefront 2. Geonosis doesn't have a spire, the plaza on Naboo has been removed, Mustafa's control room is smaller, Margito's northeast platform is now missing, there is a proper Hoth map, but there's only one 8080 this time and it's on rails so you can't pilot it, plus you can't blow up the shield generator. So Lukamai is the only new map that wasn't used in the campaign. There's no hero assault, but you can play as all the heroes from Battlefront 2 in Conquest and Hero Capture the Flag, which is a new mode. There are also 2 new heroes, Admiral Akbar and IG-88. There is a Galactic Conquest mode which has been redesigned, this time adding a few more RTS elements. You can now assign specific numbers of troops to each battle, unlock commanders, and generally focus a bit more on resource management. And of course, Renegade Squadron did have online multiplayer for up to 16 players and local ad hoc matches for up to 8 players. And so there we have it, Battlefront Renegade Squadron, an ambitious continuation of the Battlefront series that's limited by the PSP hardware. The controls are an improvement over its predecessor, but they're still rather limited. There were just so many times playing this game that I reached out for the non-existent right analog stick. But that being said, there are still plenty of redeeming factors about Renegade Squadron. The new maps are a welcome addition, even if they are a bit small and basic at times. And the character customization was a novel new take on the established formula, which is why I think Renegade Squadron is a worthy addition to the Battlefront series. The game didn't get the best reviews, but it did sell well enough to get a greatest hits re-release and warrant a follow-up, Elite Squadron, but that's a topic for another video. In the meantime, please let me know your thoughts and memories of Renegade Squadron in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Please consider supporting me on Patreon, and a big thanks to all my existing patrons. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.